the school can't do anything about it if my parents don't agree to it. Where they can, you know how schools can get you an EHCP plan, they can get your plan to support you to learn. If your parents don't agree to it, they can't help you. So I'm going through primary school, no help. Secondary school, I get to year 10, year 11, and they're like, it's getting worse. There was this one deputy head teacher, Miss Burrows, amazing, yeah. She tried to get what was going on with me, and she said, you know what, forget about his parents, this guy needs help. She brought in someone special to help me for my last year, year 10 to year 11, to help me with my ADHD. Obviously, she still couldn't get papers signed to get me medication or anything because my parents need to sign it. But she was getting people in to get me past.
Pay attention to your education.
Because I was getting into loads of fights. Stupid fights. I just had anger issues. I was playing football and I'll just get angry for no reason. Instead of going to lunchtime, she got me in the gym and do boxing with her husband, Mr. Burrows. Yeah. So I was boxing. I loved it. Every lunchtime, I was making sure I was focused in class so I can actually get to lunchtime. That last year of school was like the best year because I was on it because she got me support. I get to college now. And in college, parents don't need to really sign anything. That's when I started taking medication. At that point, you can kind of make your own decisions. And that's when it hit me that if my parents had collaborated with then it would have been more support. Take medication for ADHD, open about that, right? Yeah, and I've had it since primary school. They've been telling my parents, African parents, I'll go home, my mum will beat me because she's like, why are you acting stupid?
I'm a psychiatrist who has ADHD, and here are 3 things I would never do because they make symptoms worse, not better. Number 1, I would never start my day with my phone. That is a dopamine hijack. 10 seconds in, and your brain is already overwhelmed. Second, I would never make a huge to-do list with 20 things on it. That is a recipe for paralysis. Instead, think about those things that are both urgent and important and tackle those. And third, I would never start my day off with a sugary breakfast. Blood sugar crashes mean brain crashes. Protein and fiber are your best friends. ADHD isn't about trying harder, it's about working smarter with your brain. Follow for more ADHD tips. I'm a psychiatrist who has ADHD, and here are 3 things I would never do
I'm a neuroscientist and I specialize in helping people prevent Alzheimer's disease with science. I have ADHD and so I understand this very, very well. Supplement number 1, I take this one on an empty stomach. It is L-tyrosine. L-tyrosine. This is an amino acid that is a precursor to dopamine. It's naturally found in protein, for example, beef, chicken, eggs, fish, and so forth. So if you eat a lot of protein, that can be really helpful. When you take L-tyrosine as a supplement, this gives your brain and body the raw materials to make more dopamine. Most prescription drugs for ADHD work by increasing dopamine, but they do it in an artificial way that can have side effects to it. I know I've taken Ritalin, Adderall, Vyvanse, Concerta. I took a lot of prescription drugs for ADHD, and I know what they feel like. L-tyrosine is much more natural and much more gentle. Of course, check with your medical doctor first before doing anything that affects your health. L-tyrosine can be taken in addition to ADHD prescription drugs. Of course, check with your pharmacist, or it can be substituted. Please do not change your prescription drugs without checking with your pharmacist and medical doctor. It can be very unsafe. L-tyrosine is one of my favorite ones, though, for starting out with ADHD supplements. Supplement number 2, this one reduces stress and increases calm, and it's also great for the brain. It is L-theanine. L-theanine. This is an amino acid found in green tea and black tea that reduces stress, improves calm, and also improves brain function. This goes really well with the L-tyrosine. L-tyrosine plus L-theanine, that is a winning combination. You can also take L-tyrosine at night, and that can help with sleep. Number 3, this one is my favorite because it has so many benefits for ADHD. It is lion's mane. Lion's mane is a medicinal mushroom. Here's some of the benefits of lion's mane. It's gone viral recently because so many people are getting great benefits from it. So lion's mane improves memory. That's good for ADHD. Lion's mane reduces stress and anxiety. That's good for ADHD. And lion's mane improves sleep. Helps people fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and fall back to sleep. I struggled with sleep for years, in part because I was really excited with my ADHD and I wanted to stay up. Number 2, a lot of the prescription drugs for ADHD can impair sleep. So lion's mane can be really helpful in all of those ways. I like to take lion's mane at night to improve sleep, and then I can also take lion's mane during the day to improve my memory and brain performance during the day. And of course, check with your medical doctor first. I love you. God bless you. 3 supplements for ADHD. If you're new to my channel, hi. My name is Robert Love. I'm a neuroscientist.
As I finally made it in for a doctor's appointment this morning that I had been putting off making for entirely too long, I find myself wondering, why is making this appointment as hard as filing taxes for me. So let's talk about why the fuck it's so hard to make appointments when you have ADHD. First, it's never just about calling or clicking a button. It's about all the things we have to do before that uses up our executive function, which, as we all know, is not a fun place for us. We have to figure out when we're actually free, try to predict our energy levels, make sure we don't have any conflicts with our school schedule or work schedule or kids' schedules. We have to wonder, are we going to have to reschedule and make another call? Or to remember if our insurance has changed or if there's any other updates we need to have in hand. We got to find our insurance card. And then we have to line all of that up with their availability in real time, often on a phone call. By the time you think all that through, the appointment itself is the least of your worries. On top of all that is the emotional stuff. I'm talking about RSD, rejection-sensitive dysphoria, which makes you feel panicked and ashamed about the kind of response you might get from the other person. You might be thinking, what if I call and I sound stupid? What if they judge me for not making this appointment sooner? Or the internal dialogue of, I should have done this months ago. I feel so ashamed and they're going to judge me. Yep, I've been there too. And that is exactly why the appointment this morning took so damn long to make. So here is what actually helps. First, use online booking as much as possible. Less pressure, more control, no on-the-fly communicating with another human. 2, have a go-to appointment window in your week or your month. Something like Thursday mornings are for appointments. That way you don't have to use as much executive function to figure out when you're free. 3, ask a friend to sit with you when you make the call. You might feel silly, but I bet they won't mind, and the body doubling is really helpful. 4, script it, literally. Write down what you want to say and what you need to ask so you don't have to use your working memory in the moment. And then 5, break it down. As I mentioned, making an appointment sounds like one thing on your to-do list, but it actually has a lot of steps. So break out each step and just take one at a time. Item number 1, find the phone number for the place you need to make an appointment. Appointments aren't hard because you're irresponsible. They're hard because you're trying to manage executive function overwhelm, plus navigate emotional landmines. No wonder you've been putting this off. You're not alone, and you're not broken. Save this video and share it with a friend that you know also struggles with this. And comment to share with me if there are appointments you've been putting off. Maybe we can all serve as each other's body double.
And that was Asha Coach. She was really good. I'll follow her.
As I finally made it in for a doctor's appointment this morning that I had.
This is how my Swedish mom got my ADHD brain from split to this without using Adderall. So my mom is a holistic psychiatrist, so she would never give me this because ADHD really comes down to a lack of a happy chemical in the brain called dopamine. And Adderall forces your brain to release all of its dopamine at once, which overwhelms and drains the brain completely out of the very chemical that it needs to function, which is the reason that the brain gets dependent on it. Instead, my genius mom, she gave me a small amount of caffeine with something called L-theanine. And L-theanine actually helps your brain produce more serotonin and dopamine. When you combine this with caffeine, it's like rocket fuel for your brain. You can combine coffee with an L-theanine capsule, or you can sip on some green tea. But personally, I just chew this gum that I saw on Shark Tank because this gum already has the perfect dosage of L-theanine, caffeine, and B vitamins. And this absorbs through the mouth, so it kicks in 10 times faster than coffee. Studies have shown that a combination of L-theanine and caffeine can unlock your brain's full potential. 5 minutes after taking this, it's like I'm in that movie Limitless. And without this, if someone drops a pen at work, I lose focus for 20 minutes. But when I take this, they have to throw the pen at me just to get my attention. And no matter if you take it before cleaning, working, and just getting through the day, you'll be running at a faster pace without jitters, crashes, or anxiety that you can get from caffeine alone. Since they were on Shark Tank, they sell out all the time. So if you see an orange cart down here, please let me know, because I need to get like 10 more packs of this stuff before it's gone for another month.
Okay, so
this is how my Swedish mom got my ADHD. This is how my Swedish...
Okay, so look up the chewing gum he's talking about, and it, you know, it's just like what the other doctors said about chewing gum. Chewing gum in itself helps you get things done. It supports you in getting things done. But yeah, that was sneaky. That was an advert. It was really good.
If you have ADHD, you need systems, not discipline. Discipline and ADHD does not go hand in hand at all. Let me tell you why. So discipline involves a part of the brain that ADHD brains don't necessarily do too well, and that's executive functions. ADHD brains suffer with something called executive dysfunctions. Discipline allows people to do the things that they need to do even when they don't feel like it. ADHD brains don't work like that. So systems are something that you can create so you can actually look disciplined to the outside world, but it's something that we create. We can gamify it. We can give ourselves reward for it, but it replaces discipline. For example, in the morning, I go ahead and pull up my Waze or my GPS app, and I go ahead and put in the address to my job, and what it does is as the time is ticking, it's telling me what time I need to get out of the house because I can see what time I'm going to get to my job based on the time that I leave. I will give you more, but I didn't do the 10-minute mark on this video, so just like this video and follow me for more ADHD tips and beauty tips for women. If you have ADHD,
and this ADHD treatment on Instagram.
If you were talking to the partner who doesn't have ADHD, and how would you counsel them and say, okay, this is where I think your boundary should be, or this is what I think you should look for, and then we'll move on to the partner with ADHD.
Okay, so anecdotally, what I tend to notice is that we attract opposites. A person with ADHD is typically going to attract somebody who's more structured, routine, right? A lot of times, people who are with someone with ADHD start to get engaged in over controlling behaviors because you are so worried about what happens when the person with ADHD forgets something. So you overcorrect. And then the person with ADHD becomes resentful because they think you're trying to control them. And really what you are trying to do is manage your anxiety about something being forgotten because they do forget everything, but they're not forgetting everything to get at you or to be annoying. It's just something that happens. Okay, so what you have to watch for if you're the partner of a person with ADHD and you don't have ADHD is that you could start to do too much. And then you start getting into this control dynamic. And then the person starts to resent you because they think you're trying to control them.
And then you resent them for doing double the work. If you were talking to the partner who doesn't have ADHD,
so as I'm getting ready for my workout, I am reminded of the 3 most important things that I recommend for all of my patients that I'm treating for ADHD. And here's the surprise that it's not medication. So the number 1 intervention that I make sure that I emphasize to every one of my families who are dealing with ADHD symptoms, even if they haven't been formally diagnosed, or my kids who I have evaluated and who we're working with clinically, is exercise. The key in the exercise treatment pathway is there's a substance that our muscles make called eresin. We cannot synthesize it. We cannot put it in a pill. Not yet, anyway. It's made directly through the action of your skeletal muscles, released into your bloodstream, goes directly into your brain, and it's a molecular link between exercise and brain health through this pathway of neurotrophic growth factors. These are polypeptide proteins that support synaptic plasticity, learning, and memory through this cascade of effects that cannot be accessed any other way. So exercise is a central part of any treatment plan when I'm talking about managing ADHD symptoms. And it has the same impact on the aging brain as well, as far as supporting brain health and brain function. Number 2, omega-3 fish oils, especially EPA. There are 2 components, DHA and EPA. The EPA component, about 1,000 milligrams a day, shows 1, there's no downside, and 2, none of us get enough fish oil in the American diet, and it supports dopamine and serotonin functioning and signaling. It's a direct anti-inflammatory, and it also works by supporting this neurotrophic growth factor pathway
pathway, especially brain-derived neurotrophic factor. And number 3 is iron and zinc. Study after study shows that healthy iron levels, especially including zinc supplementation, consistently shows decreased ADHD symptoms like hyperactivity, improved attention, and better sleep. Once again, even kids who eat a normal Western diet can be significantly iron deficient. So I always encourage my patients to either through diet, which is mostly animal proteins, or supplementing iron and zinc, maximize those healthy levels. So if you are worried about this in your child, these are 3 things that anybody can start at any time and support healthy brain function, not just ADHD symptoms. So as I'm getting ready for my workout,
my wife has ADHD to where, like, I tell a story often, and she doesn't mind, and it's not in a sense of, like, because I know some men might be like, oh, my fucking wife has ADHD, she leaves the bread out, she leaves this, she does this, and can you believe that? That's not how, in a form I'm talking about her in. I'm talking about her in a way I'm explaining things, but I'm also explaining why things are the way they are, and then how I react according to how she acts, right? So my wife have an ADHD. It's a type of ADHD to where my wife will be in the middle of making a sandwich, so she'll grab the bread, open it, put 2 pieces of bread on the plate, and then realize there's no knives, so she'll go start the dishwasher, and then in the midst of starting the dishwasher, she realizes there's no pods for the dishwasher, so she'll go in the garage and realize she needs to straighten up in the garage, and then she'll go outside to go grab the rake and be like, oh shit, the rake's already out here, might as well rake the leaves, and now she's raking the leaves, and she'll be like, oh, I need a bag, so she'll go in the shed and be like, hey, so, damn, I gotta straighten up the bags in the shed, and she'll go straighten up the bags in the shed, and she's like, oh shit, I forgot to do laundry, that's what else I gotta clean, so she'll come back in and do laundry, meanwhile, the bread.
So this is an ADHD hack that we do in our very busy home. We run a business from home. We have animals. We have a baby. So we have our bracelet system. So what we've done to make sure that all of the essentials get done every morning and every evening is we've written them all on bracelets. This one is to feed the parrot. We've got feed the dogs. We've got change the laundry, put the dishwasher on. And we put them on our wrists every morning, and we divvy out who's going to be doing what. And then they just stay on our wrists until the job is done. And then once they're done, take them off, chuck them back in the basket until tonight. And it has been such a great system to make sure that things get done throughout the day. And it's not about, like, you have to get them done now. Like, sometimes this will stay on my wrist until lunchtime. But obviously, I'm not going to forget it, and it's annoying, and it's there. So I am very motivated to get it done. It has worked really well for the 2 ADHD brains that we have working in this crazy household. So, ADHD hack. Give it a try.
My wife has ADHD to where, like, I tell a story often, and she doesn't mind, and it's not.
TikTok might take this down because this man is about to reveal something that Big Pharma has been hiding from you for years. Listen carefully.
If you could only take one supplement for your ADHD, what would it be? It is a supplement called Adhd. It helps with memory and cognitive function. It helps with thinking skills and learning abilities. It improves blood flow to the brain. And the crazy thing is, a lot of athletes also take this because it helps with athletic.
So basically, he said if he could choose one supplement to help him with his ADHD, it would be Adhd. And just like he said, this can be really good for enhancing your memory, your learning ability, blood flow to your brain, and even strength levels. But if this is so helpful for ADHD, then why wouldn't Big Pharma want you to know about this? And that's because they don't want you to know about natural supplements that can actually help you, so they can keep making money prescribing you things like Adderall, which can have some pretty terrible long-term effects. And the craziest part is, while Alpha-GPC is potent on its own, if you pair it with other cognitive supplements like Huperzine A and L-theanine, not only is this great for your learning and memory ability, but this is amazing for reducing stress and anxiety levels while boosting focus, awareness, alertness, and overall brain cognition. So if you want to try a premium blend of all 3 of these natural supplements, I've linked one directly on our page.
So, answers